Who's a good boy? Oh. Hi, I'm Gareth. I'm from the United Kingdom and I've been placed in Yasugi.
Hi, I'm Kirsten. I'm from California near San Francisco, and I'm located in Misumi, which is halfway between Hamada and Masuda on the south side of Shimane.
Hi, my name is Veronica and I am from Texas in America, and I'm currently positioned in the beautiful countryside of Okuizimo.
What were your expectations of coming to Japan?
Okay, so I had been to Japan one time before for 1 week to visit an exchange student I had hosted in high school, and I went to visit her in a place kind of similar to here, a little more rural. So I had experienced Japanese culture, and but very briefly. So I was excited to come back and experience it for a longer period of time.
So what were my expectations at the start? To be honest, it was the first time I'd ever heard of Shimane. I'd never heard of it before, so I really didn't have any expectations to start off with. But I decided to do a little bit of research, and everything I found talked about the history that was tied to this area and the beautiful countryside and the mountains and things like that, what Shimane was more known for. So the more I researched it, the more excited I was about getting to come here. I had done study abroad before for a few weeks in Tokyo and Kyoto, so while it's really, really nice, it's still kind of one of those big touristy areas. So one of the big things that I was looking forward to about coming to Shimane was being able to experience the more kind of normal day-to-day life instead of the touristy side of Japan. So I was really excited about that.
I had never been to Japan before I first came here, so a lot of my expectation was based on anime and history books. And because I'm absolutely fascinated in history, I was really hoping for there to be like a real amount of tradition here, and really there is. You can get loads of original castles around the place, and yeah, it's steeped in history.
What's great about being in Shimane?
So Shimane is a very long prefecture, so it's really diverse, and you can spend a lot of time just traveling within the prefecture to experience a really traditional side of Japan. Because Shimane doesn't have a ton of big cities, you have a lot of opportunities to do outdoorsy things, which I really enjoy, like hiking, or you can go swimming. We have really nice beaches, and we're really close to a ski place too in the winter, so you can go skiing or snowboarding. So there are so many things that you can do in Shimane.
Everything about Shimane is that we are so inaka out here. People are friendly and polite and courteous. The air is just so clean out here as well, and generally life is just a little bit slower out here. It does mean that you're somewhat removed from some of the amenities that you might be comfortable with, like maybe McDonald's or whatever, but you do figure that stuff out, and honestly, you're in one of the most beautiful areas of Japan. I was a teacher for 2 years before I came out here, and the cool thing about being an ALT is that reward from teaching students, it still hasn't gone away, that intrinsic reward for it. One of my favorite things about being an ALT, though, is accidentally running into your students when you're in the convenience store or just out shopping or whatever, because they look at you and they're like, are you allowed to leave the school? And you're like, yeah, it's cool. It's Wednesday. And you just get into these sort of conversations with them. Sometimes they're a little bit awkward because they don't know how much they can actually talk to you. They're really nervous about if they get something wrong, will you be all like, you said it wrong! But every other time you'll run into a student who is just happy to talk to you. I mean, I live near some of my students. Sometimes I run into my students when I'm on my way home from work, and we get into some very short conversations, and it's really nice. They're really cool people. You're going to have two kinds of interactions with your teachers as well, because you'll have your working day with them, and sometimes your interaction with them at work is going to be what makes your day the day it is. But then sometimes you're going to go to Enkais and your teachers are going to be completely different people, and it's crazy, it's hilarious. Now, unfortunately, that's not to say that every single day is going to be, jumping to the stars exciting. Sometimes you are going to have a bad day, And that is where your JTEs and A Jet, all the other jets in Shimane, really kind of come into the fold, because I don't want to brag, but everyone in Shimane is insanely cool. They are so nice. Personally, for me, a lot of my bad days seem to sort of just pile in during winter, when it gets really cold outside and everyone hibernates under their kotatsu. But what made it decent for me was that I was willing to go out and meet people, and people were willing to come out and meet me, and everyone around here being really laid back and just chilled out, it made for a very comfortable winter.
My favorite part of being an ALT is hanging out with the kids. So I teach at 2 elementaries and 2 junior high schoolers, and I love being in class with the kids. They are so fun. And outside of class too, I get to eat lunch with them and talk to them, and I also am involved with coaching some of the elementary school soccer teams, and so I get to see the elementary schoolers in a different setting, and they are the cutest and absolutely hilarious. So I really love interacting with them.
All right, ready?
Let's go, Shimane! Like I said, I help coach with some of the elementary school teams, and I joined a futsal team in Hamada, so I get to interact with some students closer to my own age. And I also run and participate in other activities with the people at my Board of Education, who are really fun to hang out with. And if you don't have a specific interest before coming here, there are so many different activities that you can join and try out, especially maybe new ones like taiko or other Japanese activities that you haven't done before. So there are tons of opportunities out here. So you're probably going to get a lot of information right off the bat, and don't freak out about it. You'll find out everything you need to know when you get here, and there's a great support system in place. I can always turn to my fellow Jets and my supervisor and my Board of Education people and my JTEs. Everyone is looking out for my best interests, and everyone gets along really well. So I would say, yeah, don't worry about not knowing everything or feeling like you don't know what's going on. And I would also say, if you have an interest when you get here, to really talk to people about it and see if you can get involved in that interest here in Japan. When I got here, I talked about soccer nonstop, and people helped connect me to the different soccer teams that I'm now helping to coach and play on, and it's made such a difference.
So what do I do in a tight situation? It depends on what the situation is for me sometimes, but I find that there's still kind of that same process of who I try to contact if something does happen. First, I will notify my supervisor and let her know that there's an issue. There's also another ALT here in town that I can get in touch with and either ask for advice or let her know that something's wrong, and she'll help give me advice on that. But if language seems to be a barrier and something that I'm not quite sure how to say or word something, we've got some awesome PAs in Shimane, in Matsue, that are willing to give us advice, or if we need to help us out of a sticky situation that we might have found ourselves in. There's also the Claire counseling services that they offer, and AJET has their own peer support group as well that you can contact on Skype if you just want somebody to talk to. You need to kind of let something off your chest. The AJET support group is there as well. They also have Facebook for AJET and for Shimane Jets. I find that that's also a really nice outlet to kind of, if I need help with something or I just need to share something, I feel that that's also another nice safe place that I can broach the subject to some fellow Jets and see if they can give me some help, some advice.
Now, I wanted to give you a little bit of advice. and I'm not going to sugarcoat this, there are bugs out here, and I mean there are bugs. When I first got here, I thought if it didn't have a vertebra, it was just bigger, and it's true. Now, my bit of advice is, if you just keep your house clean, you're not going to have to deal with bugs a lot of the time. Also, you should read up on some of the bugs that are here in Japan by going to the Facebook page called Shimane JET that's started by Kasha, because Kasha is locally known as Bug Lady. Also, I would advise you only pack your summer clothes and buy winter clothes or have it shipped in when you're here in Japan, because you're going to need the space in your suitcase, and you do not need your winter clothes when you first get here. Also, maybe bring some sort of suntan lotion or sun protection. Definitely.
Fetch! She's not going anywhere. I'm gonna see you later. I'll be at Kenshikan, so if you can go to Kenshikan, I'll probably see you there. Ciao.
And words of wisdom and luck for the new ALT.
All right, so good luck in your preparation, and we'll see you in Shimane soon.
So my advice for incoming jet are a few things. First and foremost is to bring photos. They don't have to be physical photos, you can have them digitally, but one of the things I kind of regret is that I didn't bring enough pictures of where I live. The kids here are really curious about other countries, especially how my town or my schools are different from life here in Japan. So I would suggest bringing a bunch of pictures. Whatever you may think is weird, the kids here are going to love seeing pictures from another country.
Good job. You're coming to Shimane.
Yeah, you're coming to Shimane.